Film is a new musical that is directed by Lin-Manuel Miranda. You guys should know his name at this point. I mean, if you're looking for the mastermind behind Hamilton and, you know, In the Heights from earlier this year, I mean, that's Lin-Manuel Miranda. This actually might be his feature film directorial debut. I'm not 100% sure on that, but either way, he directs this movie. This film stars Andrew Garfield and Alexandra Shipp and Robin de Jesus. I think I'm saying his name right. This is an autobiographical musical that focuses on the life of Jonathan Larson. It takes place in New York City, and it follows Larson, who is a young New York City composer, or at the very least, he's an aspiring New York City composer. He's also a struggling New York City composer, and this movie deals with the ups and the downs as he navigates life, love, relationships, hardships as he approaches his 30th birthday. And that's essentially the gist of the movie. I turn 30 next year, and I'm probably gonna be, you know, working out my issues through a musical, so you guys have been warned here. To put it bluntly, I am not a big fan of musicals, like at all. Musical is probably my least favorite genre of film. I could probably count on like one hand in my life, maybe even 4 fingers, the number of musicals that I've actually liked that are not actually Disney animated movies from back in the day. Wait, do Disney animated movies count as musicals? Like, are those classified as musicals? I'm not entirely sure what the musical versus animated threshold is, but I guess you could consider them musicals. But in general, I don't like musicals. Going into this movie, I was kind of like, I'm here for Andrew Garfield. I'm not here for anything else. I love Andrew, and I'm here to support him. But as far as the musical part of it, I don't care. I'm not invested. And this is why movies are awesome, man. Movies can surprise you. Movies can give you something, can give you an experience that you didn't think you were gonna get when you least expected it. Putting aside the actual music of the musical, because obviously the music is like the important part because that's how they're conveying the story and pushing the plot forward. Like, I get all of that. But I need there to be an actual story worth investing in. That's kind of my rule of thumb for musicals. Give me a good story, something that I can actually be invested in, something I can follow, something that feels like hits me in the feels where it's supposed to, and then, okay, we'll see what you do with the music, and hopefully the music is good. We'll get to the music in a second. Let's focus on the story first. The story is very investing, and I didn't know anything about Jonathan Larson. In fact, I didn't know that Jonathan Larson is the guy who gave us Rent, you know, the play Rent that eventually got turned into, you know, a movie. I didn't know that that was him. Some people don't have life figured out when they're 40 or when they're 50 or whatever. I don't know, man. Life, it ebbs and flows. There's a lot of ups and downs, twists and turns, sideways, back ways, and there's just not a roadmap to this shit, and I think we all know that at this point. So having a movie where you deal with a protagonist who doesn't have a roadmap and is really following his heart, is really passionate about what he does, but at the same time he's kind of at a crossroads in life because he has to decide if this shit is really worth investing in. I can empathize with his struggle, and because I can empathize with this character struggling with this in this movie, I can empathize with the story around it as you see how him pushing so hard to be the greatest at what he does, how it affects him and his relationships and all the other people in his life that want to support him. Then you've got the performances. Andrew Garfield. I mean, what else can be said about Andrew Garfield at this point? Andrew Garfield's great, man. He's a great actor. He was great in this movie. This is one of his best performances, one of the best performances of 2021. There is so much passion and energy that is just oozing off screen when this guy is on there. Alexandra Shipp, who many of you may know as Storm from the failed X-Men franchise, she was actually really good in this movie too. She plays Andrew Garfield's girlfriend. Robin de Jesus actually gives one of the more underrated performances in the film. He plays Andrew Garfield's best friend. Then you get to the actual music of the movie, and oh, it's sex. The music is really, really good. Most of the shit that I was listening to in this movie, I was bobbing my head, I was nodding along, I was trying to sing some of the words. A lot of the lyrics in this movie feel like regular everyday conversations that people have. It's just blended and turned into a song, and I really dug that aspect of it. There's a lot of style in this movie and a lot of different versions of that style throughout the soundtrack and throughout the music, so I really do appreciate all of that. At the end of the day, this is a movie that has lots of heart, it has a lesson, it has a story, it has good characters that you can invest in. Most of all, the music doesn't suck, which is like the #1 priority of the musical, is that the music can't suck. I will say that there were maybe a couple of moments during the movie where I didn't think the song really fit the moment or the emotion of the scene that they were trying to depict in the musical. There's just a couple of moments that just felt a little bit off for me, and I wasn't really sure what they were going for there. Like, it's a good song, but it just, why is it here? It feels a little bit out of place. And that happens a couple of times throughout the runtime. This movie also has kind of that Lord of the Rings Return to the King thing where it just doesn't end. Like, it's building to a certain point where you think the movie's gonna end, and then the movie just kind of keeps going. This is not necessarily a sense of, oh, the movie has to wrap up all its narrative threads. It's a case of, it felt like the movie wasn't sure where or when it wanted to end, and so it just kind of awkwardly went on for a bit until it finally abruptly ended. And I was just like, oh, well, that was a little bit sloppy. We could have tidied that up and maybe cut like 10-15 minutes off the runtime for this movie. Everything else in the movie, from the costumes to the set design to the production value, cinematography, all of that stuff is really, really good too. Overall, Tick Tick Boom was actually one of my favorite experiences for 2021, and I'm gonna give this one the highest praise of Superman Prime. He's had several, so go ahead and give me what your favorite Andrew Garfield movie from this year is. Put that in the comment section down below. Please like and subscribe to the Superfan Show, and if you like what you see, tell me how you feel, and stay tuned to hear more from the Man of Steel. Peace.